George appears early in the film, beat Boyka, and Gaga came to his rescue. Boyka was imprisoned and in poor health, in jail, and began working as a cleaner. Since his leg was broken in the jail bathrooms, George had broken him, and he was unable to fight. As previously, after many months, we meet a man named Psychov, who has passed. He is a fierce and powerful wrestler, competed in 35 matches and did not win any of them, lose any match, and this fighter, Boyka's successor to wager on. Psychov had a match, which he handily won. Gaga then defeated his opponent. Before leaving the prison, goes with the governor. Prison, then he happens to see Boyka washing the floors. He was taken back by that. Boyka's health had deteriorated, and I saw him refuse to accept the money. Gaga, that dropped from him on the ground, walks to the jail with him and informs him that he did not forget about. Thanks to him, I made a lot of money. And, as a result, he informs him that he will, better than transferring him to another cell. Boyka informs him that he wants him to let him fight Psychov, but Gaga will not, and informs him that Psychov will be easily defeated. He informs him that he has defeated him, will compete in a global championship, perhaps the most ferocious prisoner fighters in. Boyka's desire is being fulfilled throughout the world. Denied, Psychov then resumes his. Meanwhile, Boyka returns to his winning ways. Train in order to heal, in order to fight. He shaves his beard once more. Psychov was in an argument with someone and beaten him, and once the game was over, Boyka poured water at him and told him. He asks Gaga whether he was a true hero. To allow him to fight Psychov, Gaga inquires of Psychov. He enters the arena to combat him, ring, and begins attacking the Psychov he was attempting to avoid putting weight on his injured leg. During the battle, he did actually use his. He was able to quickly demonstrate his great abilities. The audience applauds when Psychov is defeated. Boyka's name with renewed zeal after that. Gaga confines him in a jail. Georgia is under strict security in order to take part in the international. Instead of paying the reward, hold a tournament. The tournament's winner was. This competition's release from jail was supervised by an elderly guy named Rizzo, who assembled the most powerful bettors in martial arts, Gaga, among others, and he received them in. In his motel, everyone had their own fighter. Gaga runs into an Italian acquaintance of hers. His name is Fernati, and he informs Gaga that Turbo, his combatant, will win the. Boyka then enters the tournament. Prison, as well as the rest of the inmates, meet the jail warden, who inquires. Every prisoner must state his or her name and number. All of the detainees were charged with a crime themselves, and the majority of them were charged. The jail fighter accuses them of murder. Raul is his name, as well as his. Turbo's nationality is Colombian. As his time came, he cursed the. He was informed by the jail warden that he would face several difficulties if he did not shut up. After that, they go to their cells and watch as they travel the stadium where the games will be hosted. Rizzo, a businessman, collects everything. Influential businessmen and women, greets them and informs them that they undoubtedly have considerable power because we're able to extract dangerous detainees out of jail in order to take part in. On the second day of the competition, the warden informs the inmates that a person only has 1 hour to work out, but they had to do something before going to the gym. Labor hard in cracking rocks in. They are then escorted to the mountain. The inmates' mountain location. Turbo was attempting to start crushing rocks, talk to Boyka and tease him, but he says no. They will now observe him with his lips shut. Colombian prisoner resting on the wall and not moving. After they quit working for them, they return to prison after working. After that, the jail warden requests that they practice for 1 hour due to the fact that although the championship will begin, Boyka and the other captives are exhausted. Enter the gym and begin working immediately. Outbookin discovers that Turbo has 2 engines, children's tattoos on his chest. The jail warden assists the Colombian prisoner in his workouts after he was released, brought him other convicts to assist him in his workouts and impromptu rehearsals, and thrashes them. Boyka was attempting to remain silent, so he brought himself to the limelight. If he does not wrap his fractured leg, then bets were put on the inmates by business people. That was the Greeks' first meeting. Petros versus a Brazilian fighter, Mr. Rodrigo Silva. The game began, and Rodrigo outperformed the Greek fighter and was successful in winning the match, after presenting a fantastic match in which he then demonstrated his abilities. The second match, which was between the Turbo and another fighter, the match was intense and equivalent to, save for the Turbo, he altered his combat approach. The other combatant attacks him in order to enable him to take advantage of the opportunity and knocked him unconscious. Farnati was really pleased to win the match, delighted to gamble on Turbo after that. The third match, there was a battle between Boyka and a French fighter. It was clear that Boyka had recovered his fitness through landing forceful punches. Versus the French fighter, Boyka was punched by the combatant, managed to knock him unconscious, and take the match. Gaga was also overjoyed that Boyka won. The fourth match took place between an inexperienced Colombian fighter versus a. The clash between Korean fighters begins. Raul, on the other hand, was far superior to them. He aggressively struck the Korean warrior and shown his abilities to the He directs a knockout and wins in front of the spectators. The day's contests come to a conclusion. The jail warden then arrives and informs them that the individuals who were, they will be returned to their prisons if they are vanquished. They kidnapped them after that, but the guards apprehended them in the middle of the road, down and got rid of them, followed by the other. Hard work is assigned to inmates. Turbo continues to torment him and informs him. He assures him that he will defeat him in a fight. The guard approaches them and informs them that talking is prohibited, but Boyka continues to agitate him, and he is beaten. They got into an argument when they were out, an iron chain around their necks, until the guards arrived and intervened, which they were transferred to solitary confinement. Every one of them was in detention, a trying period in the cell that they had nowhere to sleep and were on their way, foot during their captivity in confinement in isolation, yet Turbo persisted. Boyka told him to stop talking. Mouth Gaga arrives in the jail, Farnati, so that they can meet their fighters. Gaga really meets Boyka and Farnati, meets Turbo, and they inform them that the jail warden makes them work hard. Thus they were furious that they went to the jail warden and questioned him on why he forced their troops to do job at the jail warden's office. Rizzo was the one who informed them that he was the one requested it in order to deplete them. This is due to his desire to battle, enhance the likelihood of Colombian Raw winning the competition, and he inquired to wager on Raw in order to earn a large sum of money because he would make it simple for you. He will win the championship, Gaga inquires. After the battle, he inquired about the fate of the fighters. The competition has come to a conclusion. The warden informs him that they would get rid of everything. Combatants the next day, as usual, Turbo. Boyka continues to abuse him, telling him, feel they are being treated unfairly. The Colombian combatant is permitted by the warden too. Yet he informs him that this stuff is dangerous. He doesn't care about it. Then they return. He informs Turbo that he is going to jail after a long day. He's going to practice, and the bouncer will accompany him. Informs him that he has only 1 hour to practice. Turbo informs him that he is weary and can't exercise due to Boyka's. He goes to the gym because he insists on working out. To work out with him at the gym, Lady Gaga, Farnati takes their money to place a wager. After Rizzo's request on Raw, the guards transport the detainees to before they have their breakfast on the mountain. Turbo, as usual, continues to speak regarding the injustice as it is revealed. Boyka requests that he withdraw from if he is unable to fight. In addition, informs him that they will gain from they are putting forth a lot of effort if they consider it an exercise, which they do. The effort as if it were a workout. They will continue to work for them. Boyka's ailment is noticed by Fitness Turbo, who Turbo tells him he's okay and takes some flowers from the hills and inquiries to squeeze them and place them on his. He informs him that he has a wounded leg and that these flowers can help him recover from his ailment, while Boyka, who is resting, inquires about his chest. He informed him that the 2 tattoos. Turbo requests for his kids and daughter, concerning his family, but he responds he has no family since he built his own. He feels that he has just one life to live, saying he is the most powerful fighter in the globe, and he wishes to demonstrate that Gava. He gathers and bets money and places flowers before the contest with his leg. Rodrigo Silva from Brazil begins the game, and the Brazilian boxer is a really good fighter, powerful opponent as a result of his high. The contest was energetic in terms of talent between them. However, after a short while, when he began to experience pain in his, notwithstanding his wounded leg, he continues to fight and has the potential to knock him out, competitor to the ground, and compel him to. He has modified his performance. The guards changed for the better after that. Take the Brazilian fighter and eliminate him. Rizzo informs the warden about him, concerned about Boyka's performance in matches, and he informs him that if he doesn't, he will be continuing in this performance, capable of defeating the Colombian boxer. The jail warden informs him that he will be released. Do all he can to weaken him. The warden's strength is subsequently transferred to Turbo, and advises him to avoid Boyka, because the inmates suspected they, after having an affair, the guards beat. The following day, he observes Turbo's absence. Then, as he emerges from he hears Turbo's voice in the dining hall. He listens to what the warden says when he calls him. Turbo informs him about what the prison did to him, that he would not give up following that. Goes to practice and joins the team. A Colombian fighter informs him that he thinks he's a formidable fighter, but he is currently simply the king of toilets, but tells him that he will beat him. Cleaning toilet paper rolls. The following match will be with Turbo so that he may work out. We prepare for the game and also watch it. Boyka will then prepare for his next bout. Notwithstanding his objections, he observes turbocharger practice. When there are injuries, the jail warden arrives and requests that the guards take the prisoners were used to break the rocks. Boyka was certain that Turbo would not be present. Because of his injuries, he was able to win. Begged him to flee, but he refused. He took a break while they were working. Benefit from the guard's concentration. I urged him once more to avoid telling. He promised him that he would release him from the iron chain, but he assures him that he will, capable of defeating Raul, and that if he is defeated, he will be sent back to his prior jail. Nevertheless, one of the inmates informs them that he is the combatant who causes the guards to flee. Take him, and he vanishes. He becomes concerned and agrees to. Boyka should liberate him from the iron chain. He attempts to liberate himself from the chain, but the guards see this and attempt to stop it. But he is able to release Turbo, begin hitting the guards, followed by Boyka. Advises him to flee as soon as possible. He observes that some of the convicts assist them, that the guard is attempting to shoot, so he tosses a rock at him, and he knocks him down, followed by one of the guards. Boyka is beaten and passes out as a result. The warden regains consciousness and Rizzo is there, informing him that they will track down Turbo and eliminate him. Tells them he wants to see Lady Gaga, then finds out that Gaga cheated on him. He made a bet with Raul that stunned him, and God assures him that he will not be successful in defeating the Colombian boxer. Since Turbo vanished before the Boyka will face Raul in this match. During the last match preparations for start of the contest, when wagers are put on match, they enter the ring and the match begins. They begin fighting and the contest starts. Raul assaults are particularly strong among them, with all of his might, although he avoids them. After that, he viciously beats Boyka and attempts to shatter his damaged leg once more. Fornati begins congratulating Gaga. Boyka will lose the match, but informs him that Boyka has not yet lost, was managed to break loose from his hold, but he was able to strike out Raul. She continues punching him, and he starts to cry. Collapse after such a barrage of strikes. Raul then strikes him with the object he was holding, capable of removing him from the ring. The match's referee begins after when he recalls the disaster was afflicted with while he was in prior incarceration. Therefore, he resolves to gather his ability to bandage his damaged leg and return to the ring once again. Raul is he is taken aback by his return and begins to insult him, but Boyka begins to assault him. He is able to govern with all his strength the battle and inflicts several blows on everyone. Raul was attempting to hit him with a blow with his leg, but Boykin was able to stop him. The bout was called off when it shattered Raul's leg. Boyka triumphed in the end. Gaga, victorious in the ring, threatens Rizzo and informs him that he will accept wrath on him for forcing him to gamble. In addition, Raul Farnetti points the rifle towards the warden and informs him that he desires the once Rizzo joined, he staked money on Raul. Farnetti was able to get rid of him, but the jail warden was successful in getting rid of. The warden then travels to Boyka and informs him that they would not allow him because he assisted Turbo in escaping. He informs him that they will take him to prison. He offers to return him to prison, but he declines. He is uninterested in what they are saying. Will complete the jail. The warden picks him up and he is killed halfway down the road. To eliminate him, Boyka surrenders and ready to die, but then turbocharges. She arrives and saves him and eliminates all the guards, and then they fled. Gaga was in his car waiting for them. Gag then hands him a bag full of money and informs him that it is his. This is because Gaga has a stake in the game. Cheated on Rizzo and did not wager on Raul. He told him he knew he was the one. He is the strongest fighter in the world. Informs him that from now on he is. He then exits the vehicle, and Turbo bids him farewell and informs him that he is leaving. He also informs him that he is going to work with Gaga. Joshua Boyka is his true name. He thanks him for his assistance and bids they will bid him farewell once he has demonstrated his ability to. Everyone believes he is the strongest. He eventually begins as a combatant in the world. The movie makes you want to grin and be joyful. Thank you for watching.